This isn't a cooking video. This is a video showing my homemade candle stove and my cooking pot and what it can do. This little stove works on 4 tea lights. I buy them at Canadian Tire for 7 cents a piece, $7 for 100 in a bag. My stove uses 4 tea lights, so it costs 28 cents for 4 tea lights, and they will last 5 hours. So 5 hours of cooking on 4 tea lights. What can you cook on 4 tea lights? Seriously. In this video, I'm going to cook a whole 3 3/4 pound chicken. After the chicken's cooked, I'm going to steam vegetables for my wife's supper. When the vegetables are done cooking, I'm going to make gravy out of some of the broth so I can have French fries, chicken, and gravy for supper. Everything but the French fries are going to be cooked on this stove and pot on the same 4 tea lights. After supper, I'm going to add 4 more candles and then 3 cups of water and boil the bones and chicken parts for a broth, to make a broth for a soup and a stew that I'm going to make tomorrow. I'll boil the broth for the full 5 hours until those tea lights burn out. Tomorrow I'm going to make a keto-friendly chicken soup for my wife and then a nice hearty chicken stew for me. I'll use half the broth to make the soup first, using fresh vegetables and boiling them until they're cooked in the broth. Then I'll use the other half of the broth and make myself that hearty stew using potatoes and barley and vegetables, and I'll do it all. There's enough chicken left over at the end for 2 or 3 nice chicken salad sandwiches. So that's a 3 3/4 pound chicken, a pot of stew, a pot of soup, gravy, and steamed vegetables on a total of 12 tea lights. I'm quite sure by the end of this video some of you are going to be saying, "I'll buy that." I think if a company mass-produced these and sold them at a reasonable price, they'd be a big seller. Problem is, I'm 62 years old, I have no business experience or ability, and I'm broke. I don't want to start a company to sell this to you. I want to give it to you. I want you to be able to build this yourself. The big problem with that is, I'm broke. My idea is simple. I started a YouTube channel called Cooking with Candles, and I'm going to be showing videos on this stove and other little things that I do with candles, and I've got quite a few. Right now I have 40 subscribers on Cooking with Candles. I need 1,000 subscribers and 10,000 watch time hours before YouTube starts paying me. The day I get my first paycheck from YouTube, I will start making a series of videos showing exactly how I make this pot and stove and how you can make it yourself at home. I will be offering small prizes to subscribers along the way. After I finish the tutorial videos on how to build this pot and stove, I'm thinking I might give my stove and pot to one of my subscribers with a draw of some sort. It costs you nothing to subscribe. You just click on the link and watch the video on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. All that'll happen is some of my videos may show up in your suggested views on YouTube when you're watching things on YouTube. If you've watched this far, you must at least be a little bit interested. Please click on subscribe while you're watching. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube trying to do what I'm doing. I'm trying to heat with a flower pot heater and stuff. I gotta say, doing stuff with candles is dangerous. It's not as easy as it looks. If you want to try this on your own, just remember, one thing I've learned, anyone can make a hotter candle. You can put a bigger wick in, you can make more wax, you can do all that stuff, but it's dangerous. Hot candles overheat and the fumes catch fire, and when they do, they're hard to extinguish. That's why I always use just regular tea lights. They're cheap, they're a lot safer than trying to do anything with hotter candles. Be sure to never leave your candles unattended for any length of time, because it's surprising how hot things can get when you turn your back. I had a couple of my prototype stoves overheat over the last couple of years, so I know what I'm saying. I almost lost my garage one time because I was distracted by a phone call. For people living off-grid, this little stove and pot could save a lot of firewood over the year. Wood stoves are great, but there's a lot of times through the year when you really don't want to start a fire just because you need to cook something. Picture this in a cabin in the woods. No cook stove, just a bed, a table, a couple of chairs, and this pot and stove in the cupboard with 100 tea lights in it. You could go out there and be able to cook for a month on that. Never have to gather a stick of firewood for cooking. Even the advantage of not have to start your generator to cook your supper. There's a million uses for this. I think it could save lives.